WFYI podcasts are brought to you by Visit Bloomington, Indiana, where Hoagie Carmichael, Booker T. Jones, and John Mellencamp impacted the city and helped it become a music destination. Bloomington is home to a variety of musical artists, live music venues, and hundreds of annual music events. More information at musicbloomington.com.
We're going to take a trip right now. Like we always do about this time.
This is a journey into sound. Break it down.
I'm Kyle Long, and you're listening to Cultural Manifesto. Over the last few years, rapper 4200 Kory has emerged as one of the most compelling artistic voices in the Indianapolis hip-hop scene. His name, 4200 Kory, is an homage to the Indianapolis neighborhood where he grew up, 42nd Street and Post Road.
I never wanted to forget where I'm from. That's why I put the block right next to the name. So no matter where I'm at, it's going with me.
The music of 4200 Kory channels the spirit of golden age hip-hop, and his poetic lyrics chronicle his life and experiences in Naptown. His debut album is titled Cobra Son, a meditation on his early family life. 4200 Kory is the oldest of 7 children. He crafted the album as a tribute to his mother and late father.
Creating this album, it was always supposed to be about me. Like, who am I? When I look at the pillars of what created the man that I am today, our mothers are pretty important.
This week on Cultural Manifesto, 4200 Kory will join me to discuss Cobra Son, and we'll listen to music from the record. We'll also discuss his upcoming performance at Chreece, an all-day hip-hop festival happening in the Fountain Square neighborhood on August 23rd.
What those guys do with Chreece is next to otherworldly. Because I feel like a lot of people have this idea that they're chasing where Naptown needs to be put on the map. And to get there, events like Chreece are paramount.
But first, let's hear a classic track from 4200 Kory. Released in 2023, this is For Naptown to the World.
If you officially know your zone, dog, Eastside in its home, Westside get it, Northside in its home, Southside with it, and if not, then mind your business, so, and don't get defensive, cause one wrong move could put little bro inside intensive, and I say with good intention, showing you how we kick it, in this state that we live in. Murdoch, please help me with this. I don't think
nobody loves this city quite like Kory does. He paints pictures with his words like an allegory does, leveraging vivid imagery like a story does.
That was 4200 Kory with For Naptown to the World. And 4200 Kory is my guest this week. Let's join our conversation. Kory, thank you so much for taking time to be here today.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, we're going to talk about your new album, Cobra Son. This is a beautiful record. Your lyrics are poetic. Congratulations on this release.
Thank you, thank you.
On this album, you're talking about a lot of deeply personal things, traumatic experiences in your life. You're cool with talking about all that?
Let's get into it.
Okay,
Man.
I didn't want to.
I
know it's like festive. You're releasing your album. I didn't want to bring anything too serious up without getting your permission. Before we jump into the music, I want to learn a bit more about your background. From what I understand, you grew up in Indianapolis. Seems like the Eastside of Indianapolis has played a large role in your life. Your name, 4200 Kory, is a reference to 42nd and Post Road. Tell me about growing up in Indianapolis and why the East Side has been so important to you.
Yeah, man, I think I love the idea of origins. I love the idea that they play in somebody's, surgings towards whatever success may be. And for me, coming from 42nd and Post, it laid down the foundation of how I'm supposed to approach just about everything I do in my day-to-day life. So obviously for people that aren't all that privy to what that lifestyle is like, it's not the most lavish, it's not the most perfect. In a lot of ways, it's so imperfect that you grow a sense of normalcy to it. And with that, I've approached life with that same kind of cadence. Just being hungry at all times, always trying to be receptive of what's needed of me from the people around me, because I'm the oldest of 7, and I think that that's almost as big, if not bigger, of a component for making an album like this when it comes to being from the Far East. But yeah, 42nd and Post is it's the rudimentary stages are the biggest parts of like getting the ball rolling on a project like this. So it was obviously like paramount for me.
You mentioned that it keeps you hungry.
Yeah.
Post Road, 42nd and Post, if you say that, it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people.
Absolutely.
For some people, it's home, it's family. A lot of talented and successful people have come out of that neighborhood. For people outside the area, they may have heard it on the news and heard negative stigma about the neighborhood. Why was your experience growing up there so important that you want to carry it with you in your name? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's huge, right?
It was a big thing for me, man. When I first started making music, or at least trying to make music and give myself a name, it was just Kory. This was my middle name. And like I said, I'm big on origin. I'm big on honor culture. That's the thing that I'm very big on. Growing up around honor culture, growing up around gang culture, it embeds in you the importance of where you're from. And I never wanted to forget where I'm from. That's why I put the block right next to the name. So no matter where I'm at, it's going with me. And like for the people that on the outside looking in, like this project is a big attempt at sort of reshaping the ideas or the relationship that you may have with not only 42nd and Post, but the city of Indianapolis in general, for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You're 23 now, is that correct?
Yep, I turn 24 next month.
Okay, happy birthday. From what I know, you've been rapping for about 10 years.
Yep.
And you started writing around age 12.
Mm-hmm.
I've read that writing was a form of therapy for you, maybe an escape from things you're dealing with in your life. Tell me about what inspired you to pick up the pen and start writing, and what kind of things are you writing about at age 12? Do you remember back? You have books, rhyme books, notebooks?
Yeah, a lot of copycatting, a lot of stealing people's bars. That's definitely what it was when I was 12. You wear a lot of your inspirations on your sleeve early on. You try to, wiggle your way through the maze of who you are. I mean, and those are obviously your formative years. You're trying to figure out who you are. So by the time I reached about 16, 17 is when I really started to get a firmer grip on the direction that I wanted to go. I think a lot of times with the music that I was writing and where I began at, I was trying to chase more of like the Mick Jenkins of our culture, guys who were like 1 foot out, 1 foot in terms of hood culture. But I was also trying to sort of psych myself out of the fact that I'm 100% in it. There was very few stages of my life where I was not deeply embedded in the culture that we call our own, when it comes to hood culture, when it comes to being from the projects, the ghettos, all those things. Like I lived in it, and to some extent, I tried to shy away from that to convince myself that things were better than they actually were. Over time, I began to embrace that, and that's how we get into the approach of Cobra Son. Essentially, it's definitely a matter of learning myself, and every year I've gotten better as a writer, understandably because of the experiences that I've been through.
Writing for you has always been about lyrics?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like I said, stealing at first and then eventually graduating into being my own person when it comes to my lyrics, gaining that personality, gaining that charisma that I feel like is necessary to stand out for sure.
Yeah. I mentioned you've been rapping for about 10 years. You're 23.
Yep.
You already have a substantial catalog of music. You're calling Cobra Son your debut album.
Absolutely.
But you've released a lot of projects. Old Soul Volumes 1 and 2, From Naptown to the World, Hold On for Dear Life. Tell me about your past projects and why you consider Cobra Son your official debut release.
Yeah, man. With those past projects, obviously, like, again, I mean, honestly, it's the same thing with the writing. Each one is a stepping stone. I found myself going through an experience, and I wanted to materialize that as best as I could. With projects like the Old Souls, those are, what I feel like is it goes hand in hand with rap culture. You got to have some ego. You got to have some style. The E-line, you got to be able to talk your talk. And those projects were for me. For Naptown to the World was like a mixtape, my ode to my hometown. And Hold On for Dear Life is like me stretching my ability to be a writer and seeing what I could pull off with what I had. In the same vein, I originally thought that would be my debut album because it just had those type of elements to it. It had the storyline, it had the records that were deep, it had the records that were fun, and then it had the experience all wrapped around it. And just looking at the background of everything, looking at the ins and outs of how that project came together, I understood that couldn't be a debut project. Like the way we sourced it, the way we put everything together, it just didn't have all of the components that I would deem necessary to make a debut album or project. I didn't have a fan base that I wanted at the time or needed to actually try to promote a project big enough to be a debut album. But this time around, I think we've done enough legwork that we've been able to prop ourselves up into a position that makes it make sense when it comes to this album in particular. Like, Cobra Son just has all of the required elements to make a debut album. We have the fan base. We have people who are hungry. We have a project that is worth something. We have experiences wrapped around that project. And then we talk about the product itself. The product is really good, if you ask me. So, so yeah, man, I think we checked the boxes for this one.
I agree with that. It's a great album, no doubt.
Thank you.
I mentioned, you have 10 years of history in rap music. I want to throw some names at you if these mean anything.
Let's see.
Fluently Speaking.
Oh, wow.
Corinthians.
Oh, you dug deep.
Oh, so different.
You dug deep.
Yeah, tell me
good.
about this stuff. Yeah.
Man, like I said, man, it's finding that identity, man. Like, my first, favorite rappers or my earliest introductions and relationships to hip-hop and music, my mother was playing stuff like Kanye West. My mother was playing stuff like John Legend. My mother was playing stuff like 50 Cent, Wu-Tang Clan. And those particular people, they played an integral role in defining the level of creativity that is necessary to make something great in my eyes. And when I first started, man, I was trying to figure out some names. So those are good. You missed one. I'm glad you missed one because my brother always bring it up. But Fluently Speaking, I had that for like a week.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That is a Wu-Tang kind of name, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I want to jump into your new album, Cobra Son. You mentioned your mom. Mm-hmm. From what I understand, this album was named in her honor.
Absolutely.
The first track I want to play is Keep the Rabbit Safe, which I believe incorporates quotations from your mom. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. It's her voice we're hearing. Tell us about your mom. Tell us about her role in this album. Why did you want to build this album around your mom, pay tribute to your mom?
Yeah, man. I think more than anything, when we started working on this album, because I've been working on this album for like 4 years, right? It started to be a concept 4 years ago. And over time, we had drop projects to sort of hold us over as we continued to try to build this project. Some songs made it, some songs didn't. We still heartbroken over some songs that didn't. But creating this album, it was always supposed to be about me. Like, who am I? And when I look at the pillars of what created the man that I am today, obviously, and I think a lot of people would agree, our mothers are pretty important, considering that they're how we got here. So when I started to write the project, it was a no-brainer that it was going to be entitled Cobra Son. And my mother, to me, we recently had a conversation, which was a part of the activation and the rollout for the album, where we spoke for like 42 minutes about like life, trauma, what it was like growing up and being a part of that household. Because me and my mother's dynamic has always seemed more like a friendship than a mother-son. And for me and her, we had a quote that we said in that same sit down where it was like, I'd kill a brick over you. And that's what that quote sort of defines and is the go-to phrase for how we define our relationship. Like, it's not perfect by any means, but through everything that we've been through, we've never looked at each other with any type of ill intent, any type of malice. I've never looked at my mother and shamed her. I always looked at my mother as being a human being, and I think that that's a privilege in a lot of ways, because a lot of times we don't see our parents as such. But I always had that privilege because my mother was very clear with me. She was very transparent with me when we were going through things, going through issues, and that played a big role in the transparency that you hear in Cobra Son. So, yeah.
Kory, you mentioned you're the oldest of 7.
Absolutely.
Your mom must have been a strong person to corral all these kids. Yeah, tell me a little bit about your mom's character, her personality. And is that your mom and your siblings on the album cover?
Absolutely, absolutely. So on that album cover, that's my immediate family. My mother's a strong individual. My mama cold, man. Like, my mama, what I refer to as straight thing. Like, it's it's not a lot of people that you'll come across in a life that are so, man, just a little bit of everything. I was referred to as a Renaissance man growing up because I was into a little bit of everything. Like, I love hip hop, I love jazz, I love pop, I love music, I love life. And as I get older, I'm beginning to have a better, firmer understanding of this experience that we call life. And a lot of that is on behalf of how my mother was. My mother is on a day to day. I mean, like, you just can't really guess what she might be into that day. My mother is a lot of things, but one thing she is not is one dimensional. She's very much into whatever you want to call it in terms of creativity. She's got an itch for everything, man, and it's a beautiful thing. And I mean, like, I take that and I run with it with my music. So yeah.
Anything you want to say about this track before we listen? Keep the Rabbit Safe. It's an interesting title. To bolster up what that phrase even means. Like, keeping the rabbit safe is more of like a mental health initiative that we really started. Like, my mother used to tell me to keep the rabbit safe. You know, being the oldest, make sure you look out for your siblings, make sure you look out for your little sister, those things. But then the phrase began to build its own world when it comes to the importance of mental health and the youth in today's society. Time's moving fast, things looking iffy. So it's very important to implement those types of sentiments upon the youth early as possible. So keep the rabbit safe definitely means a lot more to me. So absolutely. Let's listen to that track. This is 4200 Kory with Keep the Rabbits Safe.
My mama checked the check and my effort was in collecting my peace of mind at the check-in with robbers who known for finessing. I'm the oldest of 7, instilled in me is protection. My ceiling leaking, we stressing and blink and we feelings appealing to be defensive cause mama said keep it straight. Cause police around the corner can turn out fake. Cause the social service working and it's still an open case. But no matter what's gonna happen, always keep the rabbit safe, that's what she say.
Forgiveness. Working hard, staying out the street, protecting each other.
I'm Kyle Long, and you're listening to Cultural Manifesto. My guest this week is 4200 Kory. We just heard a track from his new album, Cobra Son. And Kory, the production on this record is amazing. You mentioned your taste in music. You mentioned jazz. There's jazz influences on this record. There's soul influences on this record. Who are the producers on this album? Is it one? Is it a whole group?
Oh, my goodness. I don't think I could ever completely do a project with one because when I'm trying to create a world, I know that my world has to have multiple sounds. So, like, these are people that I come across. Like, Flowers in Narnia is a big one who I believe produced like 4 or 5 tracks on this one. Look at somebody like Yogic, who's a great producer as well. I believe he produced the intro and the outro, Eerie Skies. I mean, man, it's a handful of guys, and we went through so many beats, man. We went through, I couldn't even count, man. We have so many songs that just didn't make the cuts. And, man, like, listening back to those records, because I listen back to them, I try to listen to them as separate as possible, like removing myself from it, which is obviously difficult. But yeah, man, when I listen back to the production, man, I think it's amazing. I take a lot of pride in what I choose to put my voice over. So, yeah.
Yeah, the beats are great. Are these people you connected with online?
Man, actually online, man. Yeah. Like, people I come across on YouTube, spark up conversation, or, you know, you hear something that you like, it's a tight beat. Yeah. You know, just those things. And eventually, like, it built into its own sound to try to make it into one cohesive project. Absolutely.
It doesn't sound like some basic, like,
exactly.
Fruit Loop samples, Fruity Loop samples. It sounds like there's live instrumentation on this record. Do you know? I mean,
we didn't do that, unfortunately, this time.
It sounds
like it came like that.
Yeah.
But I wanted
to. Sounds very rich.
It just didn't happen like that. But absolutely, man, I'm a big fan of that, and I think we're going to definitely try to incorporate that as best as possible when it comes to live shows.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it sounds amazing. The next track we're going to hear is Chani Man, which I assume is sort of an autobiographical piece about you. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Tell us about this piece before we listen.
Yeah, man. When I was real young, man, my name is Chauncey. So when I was real young, my aunt dubbed me the moniker Chani Man, and it just stuck. And so, like, when I was going through my little rebellious phase, young and silly and doing what my big cousins was trying to teach me, that was what I was referred to. And I think that when you listen to this track, you get put right in those shoes, those size 7s.
Let's listen to that track now. This is 4200 Kory with Chani Man.
Okay, Johnny man is sold, used to sleep on auntie's sofa, scraping up the quotas just to run up to the corner. Johnny man was smoking, but if you ask, then he's sober. Used to hate the smell of black amounts and marijuana. You see, Johnny man was different, he ain't do like everybody. Johnny man would listen, he ain't go to every party. Johnny man be distancing when he think he a bother, and the way that he be acting came from what his people taught him. Out about it, my cousin's soul was leaking out his couldn't stop me. Nights I wish to rather shot me on Calfani. I held my brother tight while he was crying, something got me. In a point of view where I've been quiet.
WFYI podcasts are brought to you by Visit Bloomington, Indiana, where Hoagie Carmichael, Booker T. Jones, and John Mellencamp impacted the city and helped it become a music destination. Bloomington is home to a variety of musical artists, live music venues, and hundreds of annual music events. More information at musicbloomington.com.
I'm Kyle Long, and you're listening to Cultural Manifesto. My guest this week is 4200 Kory. We just heard Chani Man off his new album, Cobra Son. And Kory, you definitely have a classic, old-school type of sound. As I've mentioned, you've issued 2 EPs titled Old Soul, so you seem to wear that proudly, that title. You talked about your mom's music taste, Wu-Tang, 50 Cent. I also heard you say she listened to Mos Def and Talib Kweli, who are 2 of my favorites. What did you listen to? What are you listening to now that's giving you this kind of old soul vibe?
Man, it's a long list. I tell you what, man, I make playlists. I take a lot of pride in my playlists. Like I make playlists like specifically for sounds that came from like the 90s. And it doesn't have to be even American sound. Like, I like to find songs that got shelved. I like to find records that nobody was respecting like they should have. I have a lot of respect for cultural preservation. So, like, when it comes to what I be listening to on a day-to-day, it's most likely going to be some old stuff that I have no idea where it came from. I couldn't tell you who the band was. I just know that this sounds good. But, like, I just have a lot of respect for the origins of things, man. And even when it comes to hip hop, like I'm a big Midwest kid, obviously. I take a lot of pride in being from Nap. And oftentimes I forget when people ask me about my favorite, like, first rapper or whatever. It was Kid Cudi. So, like, understanding he was from Cleveland and putting on for the Midwest, I have a lot of respect for people who put on for the small cities. And he did his thing. And when I look at hip hop and I look at the landscape of music right now, I'm always looking for somebody who is an outlier, who people are counting out, who is doing the style that may be breaking boundaries. And I'm the same way when I listen to my oldies. I'm like, man, this guy was ahead of the curve. Like, especially if it's a song that's like a deep cut. Like, I love some oldies, man.
Yeah, I know whenever anyone puts you on the spot, your mind goes blank. But is there a song, one of these underground gems you've uncovered from back in the day?
Can I check?
Yeah. Throw some songs at me if you. I'm just curious what's on your playlist.
Because I was just listening to it in the car on the way here, man. Like, I'm so glad you asked me.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm more excited about this now.
Pull it out.
And for instance, like, there's this cat named DJ Rogers. He has a joint called Love You Forever. Amazing. Tavares. It was a group. Amazing. There's a group out of Indiana called IND.
Yeah.
And it stands for Into New Dimensions.
Yeah.
And I found their record the other day. Blown away. Side by side. Insane. Like I hear that stuff and I'm like, there's no way that this exists and I didn't know about it. Why did we not know about these things? Fazo, these are all Midwest I'm about to name. Fazo, Slave out of Ohio, Lakeside, Shadow, Jewel. Like, these are all like crazy people to me. Like, I can't. It's hard for me to fathom sometimes that they actually exist. I'm like, how did this not be popular? How could this not be hot?
I'm going to send you a playlist of some Naptown funk bands from back in the day.
You have no idea. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll continue the conversation at a later point. And Kory, I want to move into a more serious subject, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
There's a track on your album titled August 20. You're releasing your album on August 20. From what I understand, your father, William Graham, was fatally injured in a motorcycle accident on August 20 of 2012. He was 34 years old. Am I right about this? And tell me about the significance of that date and why you wanted to release your album on that date.
You know, you right on. You spot on, man. So my pops, man, and we called him Billy. We called him Straight Thing. No play. Like, he was the truth. The truth. the reason we wanted to make sure that this project dropped August 20th. August in itself is a big month. August 6th is my birthday. August 20th, 14 days after my birthday, is my father's passing. So in vain of the project being called Cobra Son, I never wanted to be misconstrued that I'm only my mother's son. Like, I wanted to also make sure that it was well documented that my father played a role in my life and he was important to me. Granted, I feel like I didn't have enough of experiences with him. His life carried him through a whole lot of weight. Like, he's seen on incarceration, heavy time, before we could actually ever get to form a real relationship. And so, like, we missed out on a lot of that. But when I look at that song in itself, like, you'll hear my uncles actually talking to me on it, right? The things that I really have left of him are those stories. So it was really big for me to have my uncle on that project to tell me more stories about my father, because those is the best way that I've been able to remember him. And yeah, man, that day, it plays vividly for me. And I think more than anything that record is about apprehension, like having a feeling that you don't know, like you can't really explain. It's inexpressible, and you going through this feeling for so long, and then that thing happens, and in this case, it's loss. I feel like throughout the album, there's this pacing that you feel that is like this form of angst. We talked about it when creating the album, that it was a big thing for us. Like, let's create this essence of angst. Let's create this essence of uncertainty, but in the same time, taking pride in almost embracing all of these things. And with August 20th, I feel like that's the standalone record that tells that story of what that angst can build into. So yeah, absolutely, man. My pops was the real deal, man. And when people listen to this project, man, I hope that they can see him in the same light, at least half the way I see it.
Yeah, it's a powerful track. You mentioned you missed out on experiences with him. You were probably, 10 years old when he passed?
Yep, 11.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, 11. What do you think he would make of this, his son releasing this album on this date? All the success you've had in music, what would he make of that?
Man, I only hope he'd be geeked. I know he would. You know, when I first started rapping, like I said, I was still in bars when I first started rapping. And we did have an instance where he seen my notebook, heard my lines. And I believe I had some crazy line, man, where I was like, somebody walking across the street, like Ray Charles or something. and I love Ray Charles. And he saw that, he was like, nah, that ain't it. So, like, I hope he knows that when he did that, he continued to light the fire that he sees today. Like, that fire is still very alive and bright. Yeah, man, I'm sure he would be super geeked and super proud, honestly, man. I talk to my mother about the same things all the time. Like, he would be beyond ecstatic to see what I've been able to pull off.
Yeah, let's listen to that track now. This is 4200 Kory with August 20.
Fast forward to the 19th, the feeling with pool. I had just talked to my was chilling in school. It was me, Darian, Lita, even Jay was there too. Final day before the next one made a permanent bruise. August 20th, I hear my mama fall to that floor. 6 feet hit the ground and take off to the door. Like, mama, you okay? But in her eyes, I see the pain. I was just a kid again, but to these things I've been exposed. She couldn't even get it out. In fact, she kept a quiet mouth. In fact, she said, get ready, y'all, cause we about to drive around. Looking out that window now, had no idea what time I'm on. I don't remember music playing, but I know I heard a song.
I'm Kyle Long, and you're listening to Cultural Manifesto. My guest this week is 4200 Kory. We just heard August 20 off his new album, Cobra Son. And Kory, you have a big show coming up on August 23rd at Chreece. Is this sort of going to be like an album release show, or is this just like a one-off date?
No, not this time.
Okay.
Not this time.
Yeah.
So this one is actually, we're performing as Slum Baby Family, as a group, my creative collective. I'm super geeked, man. I did last year, I headlined. It was me, Currency, and the Franchise Boys.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Nice
super
lineup.
Fun. Yeah, it was fun. So like, I mean, like, that show was amazing, man. I probably one of my favorite shows of all time, right? And I always want to provide people with something different. And this time around, August 23rd, August 20th, I feel like that was a little too close. And the festival, like, I'm coming in with a project that's a little heavy. So I didn't think that those two things necessarily matched up well. But with Slum Baby Family, my guy King Dier, my cameraman Caleb Pfeiffer, and one of my best friends, Dejanel Irby, we're gonna be hitting the stage, and I can't wait to rock out, man, because we got something special in place. We always trying to give people something refreshing, something they never seen before, and also it's on the tail end of us releasing our first project. So with Family First, so I'm definitely geeked to perform, but we will have something on the way. We will have tour on the way afterwards to perform the album for sure.
For listeners who don't know, Chreece is an all-day hip-hop festival that happens annually in Fountain Square. Everybody has an opinion on Chreece. I mean, some people have very strong opinions on it. What does it mean to you? Is this something do you feel this is a significant event for the local music scene? Absolutely, no doubt about it.
We just don't have enough of it, to be honest. And what those guys do with Chreece is next to otherworldly. They bring a light to Nap that a lot of people don't realize how instrumental it is to building this because I feel like a lot of people have this idea that they're chasing where Naptown needs to be put on the map. And to get there, events like Chreece are paramount. Like, it's the fundamentals. And they do such a great job at showcasing talent throughout the city that has been active over that span of the year. They do a great job at providing people with experiences, not even just the people, but the artists as well. The artists always leave with something. If you know what you're doing, you're going to leave Chreece with something. And every year is something special. Like, my first year performing, the year before last, was my first year going. So even this year, I was originally going to just go to watch because I haven't been able to go and just enjoy and see people that I like to see. But this year, man, it's going to be even doper because, like, I love this lineup a lot. That Mavi Smino, Audrey, fire. Like, I'm super excited. Mavi's one of my favorite writers just alone right now. So I'm super excited to see that. And at the same time, I'm sure I'll be performing a little bit earlier than I'm used to. So that leaves me with a lot of room to see a lot more than I usually get to see. So I'm excited, man. I think we're going to have a blast. I can't wait to see people there.
Appreciate your perspective on that. And Kory, the next track I'm going to play is Well Raised, one of my favorite tracks on the record. Tell us about this piece before we listen.
Well raised, man. My mama raised me well, man. Yeah. And I think my neighborhood, the people around me raised me well, man. They made sure they looked over me right. And with this record in particular, I think that if you thought I wasn't going to provide any bops for this album, then you should be satisfied.
Yeah, let's listen to that track. This is 4200 Kory with Well Raised.
Naptown, baby, 4-5 hanging, post road singing, pinball banging, Eastside claiming, jiggle language, out the gate famous, safe and dangerous. None they said was by coincidence. We built to leave a dent in this. Rocket calling Earth for what it's worth. I gotta mention when.
I'm Kyle Long, and you're listening to Cultural Manifesto. My guest this week is 4200 Kory, and we've been talking about his new album, Cobra Son. Kory, how are you feeling about sharing this project with the world? You said you've been working on it for 4 years. There's a lot of deeply personal stories you're sharing on this record. How does it feel to get it out to the world?
Man, it's anxiety inducing for sure. Because like you said, it's a lot of heavy stuff on there. And I have never been able to dig this deep. Like, the entire premise of the project is reshaping the connotation of trauma, which takes for me as a person to get out of a certain state of mind and then blossom into something totally different. And now I'm able to look back upon my upbringing with a new light and be able to write about it and shape it, because for the longest I couldn't. For the longest I thought that there was nothing wrong, and it took me being out in the real world to get a better understanding of the fact that my story was a little bit more chaotic than I had thought. So, I mean, it's definitely, like I said, anxiety inducing, man. But at the same time, it's like a weight is being lifted off me, man, because I never feel like I can move on to the next thing. And I'm just now getting into that feeling of like, all right, this is done. Because I'm one of those kinds of artists where I can't tell when something's going to be done until it's finished. I couldn't sit down and put down a checklist for this album in particular. It had to be straight feeling. A lot of it is considered empirical in a sense, where it's based off of the knowledge of the experience itself, and it has less to do with reason and logic for this project. So a lot of it is very, very just raw, and that's how I feel with it all. Like, I just feel like, man, I'm going through the motions of it, and at the moment, man, I'm just super excited. That's what it is, man. I'm super excited to share it. I'm super excited to see how it's perceived, and I'm ready to be a nuisance with it, to continue to tell y'all to listen to it and continue to provide as many experiences as possible so you can get as close to it as you possibly can.
Yeah. Congratulations again on this record. You know, I've been listening to your music for the last couple of years. You've really emerged as one of the most powerful artistic voices, I think, in the city. You talked about this record being tied to your personal experience. I think it really transcends that and says something very meaningful about Indianapolis and, you know, the state of things in the city. So congratulations on this record.
Thank you.
I'm going to end with the album's title track, Cobra Son. But first, I want to give you a chance to share any final thoughts you want to pass on to our listeners.
I just want to say thank you first and foremost. If you even decide to press play, you decide to listen, if you decide to give it the time of day, and just continue to be receptive as possible to those around you. I think with this project, this is super big on mental health, man. Super big on the conversation. Super big on the tough conversations more than anything. Be receptive, be patient, be kind, and be patient. Like, just be patient. This is a project that is warped around patience. It's a project that's warped around the warmth of embracing community, and above all else, it's about loving who you are. So, absolutely, man. I hope that y'all enjoy listening to it half as much as we enjoy making it.
Kory, I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
This is 4200 Kory with Cobra Son.
When I saw you crying in that rain, I dripped you visit me. If my karma ever up and came, and it's a piece of me that's becoming too difficult to tame. But see, physically, I know Cobra strength is in my veins. Wrap my heart in cages. Mama's oldest baby. All you been through. Weighing on you daily. Doubt that there's change, and I tell the truth.
That was 4200 Kory with the title track from his album Cobra Son. That album is available now on all streaming platforms. And you can catch 4200 Kory performing live in Indianapolis on August 23rd at Chreece. That's all the time we have for this week. Cultural Manifesto is hosted and produced by me, Kyle Long, and supported by listeners like you. Check out the Cultural Manifesto podcast at WFYI.org or wherever you listen to podcasts. If you appreciate the arts and culture programming you hear on this station, please consider making a donation now at WFYI.org/give. Thank you for listening.
How the body keeps us going. But that's the speed that I'm on. No reason to hide, no people. The phone when the feds kick though. No peace in my home. I'm at ease with the code. Feel complete when that word of you speak on my scars, cause it's all that I know. In fact, if it ain't, I would change what I say, but I can't. Either way, you won't leave me alone. Fact of the matter, I've been up as a batter. Swing or get swung and I'm stuck on the ladder. What's to become of the child with a manner? So locked in a frame, I can't tell if it matter. These days, I've been in a you mood. Can't this but it's too. If you seen what I saw, what do. Hide from the world, keep it tucked, don't move. This is the weight that I must undo.
WFYI podcasts are brought to you by Gregory and Appel Insurance, dedicated to helping people and businesses navigate the complexities of risk management, employee benefits, and private client insurance. More at GregoryAppel.com.